From Asian curries to Italian pasta sauces and French onion soup, onions are the GOAT ingredient. I mean, what do you expect from those delicious gravies to be made without them? But why exactly do they make us cry? No, they're not sad. Come, let's find out in this video, along with some beautiful yet massive scenes, which you've always admired. Wondering if they've already harvested onions? Don't worry, that's not how we start any procedure. Right now, they've harvested those little onion bulbs called sets to plant them again in bigger and more nutrition-rich soil to grow those real onions. As soon as the sets are ready, farmers start right from the fields. Onions require well-drained, nutrient-rich soil with a pH between 6 and 7.5. The soil is often shaped into raised rows. Onion seeds are quite small, so these machines place the seeds at the correct depth and spacing. Proper spacing is important for air circulation around the plants, which is important for reducing the risk of disease. This machine was designed to drop each bulb into these rows at the same distance. Beautiful onion seedlings, which are young plants now, have begun their life in the fields, and it's super comforting. You know, in order to grow onions from seeds is a process that demands patience as they take time to grow into mature onions. But there's a quicker way to get your onions. Yes, the one we just saw. By using the onion bulbs themselves, farmers can speed up the planting process. And farmers often use onion bulbs more than seeds because bulbs grow faster and can produce a full-sized onion in a shorter time. They start collecting onions with a machine called an onion lifter. This machine has a special attachment that slides under the onion bulbs in the soil, more like gently scooping out the onions and lifting them out of the ground with utmost care. As the onions are lifted, they move along a conveyor belt within the machine. Here, they pass through a shaking system. This system has a series of grids that vibrate. As the onions move along, the loose soil falls through the bars and back onto the field. This leaves the onions relatively clean and free of excess dirt. In these little setups, the conveyor is mounted to the collection trucks, so as it moves, the onions are continuously loaded into the waiting trucks. The height at which the onions are dropped is carefully controlled to minimize the distance they fall, reducing the chance of damage. You know, just like every single onion shape cut has its own flavor, its various other varieties serve several purposes. Yellow onions are the all-stars of the kitchen, perfect for almost any dish, while red onions are milder and often eaten raw. And don't forget that white onions have a sharper flavor, and sweet onions like Vidalia are milder and great for salads. Despite their sweetness, why on earth do they make us cry? As I said earlier, it's not because they're sad. Actually, when you cut an onion, you're slicing through its cells, releasing a compound called sulfenic acid. This acid quickly reacts with enzymes to produce a gas, which comes into contact with your eyes when it reacts with the water in your eyes to form a mild sulfuric acid. This irritation triggers your eyes to flush out the irritant. So, those tears are basically your body's way of protecting your eyes from onion-induced stinging. So we have arrived where farmers' responsibilities have ended, and it's all in workers' hands now. As the onions move along the conveyor, air blowers are positioned along the belt. The force of the air helps to blow away loose dirt, small stones, and any other debris will be sorted with the advanced sensor-equipped machines. Moreover, once the onions have passed through the air blower section and are inspected, they continue moving on the conveyor until they reach the end of the line. As soon as the onions reach the top of the elevator, they are usually transferred to another conveyor, where they are fed into the quality grader. The quality grader may use rollers with adjustable gaps or screens with different hole sizes. Using sensors or cameras, the grader can automatically spot these defects, color, and shape, then sort those onions into a separate section. If a worker spots an onion with a defect, they reach out and remove it from the conveyor. Defective onions are usually placed in a separate bin. They also check for any foreign objects that may have accidentally entered the line, such as stones, sticks, or bits of dirt. Overall, that lengthy and time-taking step is all about cleaning and sorting the onions from foreign objects. Now, onions have entered an advanced optical system, allowing them to be sorted more evenly and quickly than ever before. After onions are sorted and graded, they're ready for packaging. Large, heavy-duty bags are placed at the end of the processing line. Once the bags are set up, onions are directed into them from a conveyor system. The conveyor brings the onions down into the bag opening, allowing for a steady, controlled fill. Some facilities use vibrating platforms under the bags to help onions settle into place as they're being filled. Once the bag reaches the desired weight, it is removed from the filling station and sealed at the top. Each bag is filled to a specific weight, typically between 25 to 50 kilograms. Another batch of fresh onions have moved towards the conveyor that leads into the skin scoring machine. Once inside, the machine uses powerful air blowers and some aggressive surfaces to peel off their skins. However, this is a more humane method of peeling onions, but without mess. This is the machine that doesn't just remove the onion skin, it also places it properly and removes its roots and head. You knew about such marvelous machines before. If you're curious about what they're gonna do with these neatly peeled onions, they're taking away your hassle of peeling and chopping onions. Yeah, the best go-to product in town. How satisfying was it to watch those white balls of onion getting transformed into the most needed product, but no tears this time. It's the crunch that gets you first. Onions might make you cry in the kitchen, but here, they're pure happiness. Let me show you one another but the latest scoring machine, which has some interesting features to help the labor through Thor daily tasks. The scoring machine makes vertical cuts along the outer layers of the onion. These cuts are shallow, designed to slice through just the outer dry skin layers without reaching the inner fresh layers. Yup, fried onions. Those sliced onions are now sent to the main frying area, usually a large industrial fryer filled with hot oil. The oil temperature is controlled, typically around 175 degrees Celsius, to make sure the onions cook quickly and evenly. When the container is correctly positioned, the filling machine dispenses the exact amount of onions required, and thus the process continues. When they are filled, each container moves along the conveyor to the sealing station. These machines press the lids firmly onto the containers. To keep them fresh, they're sealed immediately, often with nitrogen flushing, which removes oxygen from the packaging. This helps maintain the crispness and prevents spoilage. We are just getting started to get into the beautiful and unlimited fields of broccoli, but we have to wait for a little until they get those seed trays ready, which are carefully watered and kept untouched for 7 weeks. As the weeks pass, the trays become a vibrant sea of green, with around 35 million tiny broccoli plants reaching the perfect stage for transplanting. A single powerful machine, often referred to as the beast, well, in my terms, is all to get the job done. This machine is designed to efficiently plow the soil, plants the saplings directly into the soil with the help of little mechanical fingers, ensuring each one is spaced just right for optimal growth. It even adds a dose of fertilizer to each plant, providing the essential nutrients needed for them to flourish. Zooming the best shot. This system is a game changer for harvesting those 35 million broccolis. Instead of laboring endlessly, workers can effortlessly pick the broccoli while machines with conveyor belts whisk them away straight to collecting bins, making the whole process smooth and super efficient. Workers get to keep it chill and save their energy, thanks to this awesome setup. Some reputed companies still use these types of systems because they allow for real-time adjustments, so the workers can manage any irregularities or unexpected issues while the machines handle the bulk of the work. This approach balances labor costs with machine efficiency, often leading to lower overall operational expenses while still achieving high productivity. But for full automation, broccoli harvesters have also been created, which is a real treat for eyes. The harvester's front blades are designed to be sharp and just perfectly positioned to cut the broccoli heads at the base, with almost zero damage and clean cuts. Remember, almost. These harvesters can accomplish the work of 6 people in just 1 minute, with barely any human hand. Why is there a pile of ice here? Actually, the ice quickly cools down the broccoli, slowing down the processes that cause it to spoil. This rapid cooling keeps the broccoli fresh, preventing it from wilting or drying out, which would happen if left at room temperature too long. An added benefit is that the ice helps stop the growth of bacteria and mold, which could affect the quality and safety of the broccoli. Also, it would be quite beneficial during transportation. Either way, it's a plus. Look at that 180 degrees tilt. So probably these techniques are fun too. One could work there along with enjoying some fun moves. Okay, I need to stop exaggerating. This bunch of broccoli is going to get sorted. No, this time you guessed wrong. Not manually, but with amazingly new and mind-blowing technique. Saw those belts? So they will sort the best broccolis out of the debris by throwing off the scrap or unnecessary florets from underneath the belts and only keeping the healthy and whole broccolis and send them forward, where machines totally flex by snipping off the heads from the stems. They only keep the good stuff, and these machines are no joke. They're popping out like 80 heads a minute, which is a major glow-up for the whole operation. You know the best part? No one has to break a sweat cutting these heads off, so no one's getting tired with repetitive strain injuries. The machines keep it 100, making sure every head gets snipped with precision. None of that human error stuff. When it comes to packaging, each broccoli gets a tight and cozy wrap in the form of clear plastic. As they move through heating tunnels, the plastic is sealed all around, creating a perfect protective shield. Each broccoli is labeled with brand information to help track and identify the product, making sure it reaches the right store, plus you get the right one, and you know when it's going to be bad. Alright, so that's all? Course not. You see, some of those heads are now coming out of storage so they can be processed into further familiar product, also recognized as smaller chunks called spears. Check out those hard-working laborers doing it all by hand. It's gotta be exhausting, right? Human error can result in uneven cuts and potential wastage. Additionally, manual cutting can be slower and less efficient compared to automated systems, leading to higher labor costs and longer production times. That's the valid reason why modern factories are revolutionizing this process and making things a whole lot easier. So the machines with precise cutting mechanisms ensure uniformity and consistency in every cut, significantly increasing the overall efficiency of the production line. Just have a look. Isn't the automation praiseworthy? Because every broccoli chunk has been cut with precision, delivering perfect uniformity and a flawless look in every batch. So it's the time to treat broccoli with high temperature. Yeah, steaming. The science behind is crystal clear. It helps remove any unnecessary bacteria, making sure your broccoli is super hygienic to eat. Plus, steaming speeds up the final cooking process. So when you're ready to whip up a meal, the broccoli is already halfway there, saving you time and effort in the kitchen. Do you ever reminisce that it's a hot summer day and you're biting into a slice of juicy, sweet watermelon? That refreshing taste is what all summers and beach trips are about. Once they have the perfect environment, farmers plant the saplings about 1 inch deep and with equal distance. Once the watermelons are ready, the manual harvesting begins. Workers use a sharp knife in their hands to carefully cut the fruit from the vine, leaving a small portion of the stem attached to each melon. This helps keep the fruit fresh during transport. Look at that bright red juicy marvel though, ready to be picked. Watermelons are heavy, weighing anywhere from 10 to 50 pounds, so workers pick up the melons from underneath, cradling them to avoid damaging the fruit. Harvesting watermelons by hand is still the foundation of the process. Workers spread out across the field in teams, each equipped with sharp knives to cut the ripe melons from the vine. The teams move in a coordinated fashion, covering large areas quickly, while making sure that only the ripest watermelons are picked. What's unique here? Instead of carrying the heavy watermelons themselves, workers use a conveyor belt system or carts to make transporting the melons easier. In fields where conveyor belts are used, the system is mounted onto a slow-moving vehicle, for example, a tractor, which drives alongside the workers in the field. As workers cut the watermelons from the vine, they gently place them on the moving conveyor belt, keeping everything smooth. Once the conveyor belt has collected enough watermelons, they are unloaded into large bins, typically attached to a tractor. Using conveyor belts allows harvesting teams to pick more watermelons in less time without the strain of carrying them across the field. While on the other hand, a trailer is fitted with a moving conveyor belt that runs along the length of the vehicle. This machine moves slowly through the field as workers pick watermelons by hand. The conveyor belt is powered by the tractor's engine or a separate motor and is designed to move the harvested watermelons from the workers in the field directly to large crates located at the end of the conveyor. That was a sweaty day. Now they need to relax a bit while machines take care of the further processes. Focusing on some healthy sides. So yeah, because of its high water content, watermelon can actually help you stay hydrated longer than just water alone. The fruit contains natural sugars, which help your body absorb water more efficiently, making it the perfect snack after a long day outside or a tough workout. Workers don't need to carry heavy watermelons long distances, saving them time and energy. These automated rubbing and sorting machines use sensors and conveyor belts to measure the size and weight of each watermelon and separate them into different grades. Workers also visually inspect the watermelons for any remaining defects, such as bruises, cracks. They remove any watermelons that don't meet the quality standards for shipping. This automatic packing system offers a perfect blend of speed. Each individual partitioned conveyor system passes the watermelons to their dedicated apportion to get packed with the same quality and sizes. Watermelons typically need at least 8 hours of sunlight a day, which is why they're planted in late spring, after the last frost, when the sun is shining bright. As watermelons roll down the conveyor belt, workers and cameras check for visible imperfections, such as bruises, cracks, or spots. If not cameras, then those experts are gonna make sure of that. Some factories use advanced infrared sensors that can check for internal defects, like overripe spots, that aren't visible from the outside. As the watermelons move down the conveyor belt, automated sensors and scales measure the weight and size of each one. That is important because its price depends on its size. And also, some people are more comfortable with the mid-sized watermelon as it's easier to carry, cut, and store. Each watermelon is then directed to the appropriate lane using mechanical pushers, which gently nudge the fruit into its designated spot. And if you ask in which region watermelons are mostly harvested, China is by far the world's largest producer of watermelons, responsible for over 60% of the world's production. Once the watermelon is sectioned, workers use sharp knives to carefully remove the outer green rind, or they can switch to mechanical help as well. The outer rind is thick and tough, so it requires some strength to slice through it. The key is to peel away just the right amount, removing the green skin and the white layer beneath it, while keeping as much of the red flesh as possible. Watermelon juice is all about capturing the fruit's natural sweetness and hydrating qualities. And these machines apply no formalities, just throw the whole melon roughly, and it's gonna extract every bit of the juice out of it. As the flesh is crushed, the juice is extracted and filtered through fine mesh screens, which separate the liquid from the solid pulp. Proper preparation makes sure that the juice extraction process goes smoothly and maximizes the amount of juice extracted from each watermelon, while on the other hand, they prepare their juice bottles. Want to know if your watermelon is ripe without cutting it? Check for a creamy yellow spot on the underside. This is where it sat and ripened in the sun. Give it a lift too. A ripe one should feel heavy for its size and give off a hollow sound when tapped. Now, the slicing mechanism often uses a combination of blades and angled knives to cut through the watermelon. These blades are set at precise angles to create the triangular shape, with the base of the triangle being the outer rind and the tip pointing toward the center of the fruit. These watermelons that get damaged during harvesting are then crushed by farmers in the fields to extract the seeds. Watermelons are fed into the crushing machine, which squeezes or slices them open. The soft flesh is mashed, while the tougher seeds remain intact and are separated. The core functionality of a multi-blade slicer lies in its ability to make multiple cuts in one pass. That's just satisfying. Growing blueberries on a large scale is a fascinating process, and we'll make sure you get that fascinating ride. So stay with us, you're not going to regret these few minutes. Blueberries are grown from seeds, and more commonly, the process begins when they start as saplings. The saplings are planted in small pots, typically in greenhouses, where they are nurtured under controlled conditions. Once the saplings have reached a certain size and strength, they are carefully transplanted into larger fields because it determines the future productivity of the blueberry bushes. Farmers often use specialized machinery to plant the saplings in neat rows, ensuring they have enough space to grow and spread. And I'm amazed with those beautiful blossoms. Blueberries prefer acidic soil with a pH between 4.5 and 5.5. This is one reason why they are often grown in regions with naturally acidic soils, such as the Pacific Northwest of the United States. The acidity of the soil helps the blueberry plants absorb essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are crucial for their growth and fruit production. Mechanical blueberry harvesters are those big robots that cruise through the rows of bushes, giving them a little shake to knock off the ripe berries, more like a gentle wake-up call for the blueberries. What's super smart about these machines is that they can adjust the shaking intensity. Ripe blueberries fall off easily, while the unripe ones stay put, so only the good stuff gets picked. But tech has come a long way. Now these machines are all about finesse, sensors, computer systems, and all. This tech upgrade means farmers can get the most out of their crops, with the berries tasting better and looking fresher when they hit the market. Then, they move the berries towards some cooler place to keep the berries from going bad too soon. These cooling systems are designed to chill the berries fast and evenly, which helps preserve their taste and nutrients. When the blueberries arrive at the factory, they're placed on another set of conveyor belts. Now the belts aren't just for moving the berries. They're equipped with high-tech cameras and sensors. These sensors check each berry for any damage or imperfections, helping to make sure only the best berries move forward. After this automated check, human workers take over for the final sorting. They use their experience to spot any issues that the machines might have missed, making sure each blueberry meets high-quality standards. Behind the scenes, the whole process is carefully monitored using data and technology. Factories track every step to make sure everything runs smoothly and efficiently, and to spot any potential problems before they happen. The blue hue comes from anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant that has been linked to various health benefits, including improved heart health and cognitive function. Blueberries are often touted as a superfood because of their high levels of antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber. The blueberries are then packed into clear plastic boxes, which we all recognize very well. Some modern boxes even have holes so that the berries get real ventilation and stay fresh and crisp. Fresh blueberries have a relatively short shelf life, usually lasting only a week or two before they start to spoil. But you can alter the effects by freezing them, and this way producers can ensure that blueberries are available year-round, even when they're out of season. Don't rush. That freezing thing is also part of our today's journey. In fact, freezing can actually help preserve some of the nutrients that would otherwise degrade over time if the berries were stored fresh. So worry not and stick to your seats. When freshly picked blueberries arrive at the processing facility, their first stop is the cleaning station. Even though they're harvested with care, blueberries can still carry dirt, tiny insects, and other residues from the field. Factories often use blast freezers, which are powerful machines that can freeze blueberries at temperatures as low as -40 degrees Celsius in just a few minutes. Those frozen bundles of blueberries are now reached to this section of another factory, where they are gonna get transformed into that amazing, pure, and heavenly delicious juice. The clean blueberries are crushed and mashed by some pretty hefty machines. Now they are gonna involve the machines which will perfectly squeezes out every drop of blueberry juice out of those mashed pulp. Fast forward and back into the fields to collect some more blueberries now. I gotta admit, I love visiting those tiny blue pearls all the time. Once again, when those bright and blue-hued blueberries are all set to get inside the factories, they are gonna get cleaned and frozen to make our convenience packages. Slow freezing could cause the berries to become mushy when thawed, and they might lose some of their natural sweetness and juiciness. So quick freezing is essential because it ensures that the blueberries retain their shape, texture, and nutritional value. These packages are then sealed to prevent air and moisture from getting in, which could cause freezer burn. Freezer burn occurs when the surface of the blueberries gets dehydrated due to exposure to air, leading to a tough, leathery texture and a loss of flavor.